bother me at all. I've been videotaped. I've been recorded. I've had
action.
Like 18 people at a house before. It's crazy. Anyhow, yeah. So let me get back to the beginning here, and I will get started. First thing I did was come up the driveway. I did not find the water meter. I do not know where it is.
We will tell you.
Okay, perfect. So it's got to be somewhere on this road down here. I'm sure with these properties, it's very hard to locate them without spending hours. And then even knowing which one's which. So anyhow, as far as the driveway goes, you can tell there's a lot of cracks and issues with it. It does need to be resealed and replaced in some places. I have to make you aware of that. You should be aware of that. The hillside out here, my concern is that if there should be some type of railing out here, or I would highly recommend a railing out here along this backyard, because that is extremely steep out there. And if you were to happen to just get a little too close to it at night, there's no way you're going to stop yourself. You're just going to go down, and then you're going to land on the driveway down there, which would not be ideal. As far as the doorbell, it is functional. There's cameras around the house. No areas of I don't inspect those. Gutters. I do recommend gutters around the entire property. I can tell you the gutters here on the back of this property here are not sloped properly, so they're going to drop water down here and not drain. So I do recommend those be addressed. The air conditioning, heating, it's a heat pump. The heat and AC system only services the room we're in, the dining room, and the kitchen. It does not service the back rooms. With that being said, there is what are called radiant heat systems in the back rooms. One of those does not work, just so you know. I will label it in the report. Perfect. So, and also the heat pump system that's in this house is about 35 years old. So it's nearing the end of its service life. It is functional, but again, you should be aware that there's no AC in the back rooms.
Yep. We are.
The termite inspector obviously marked a few locations around the property. Those are going to be in his report and mine as well. There's a new electrical panel on the outside of the house out there, 200 amps, which is great. But the original panels inside the house are Zinsco panels. They're the older, three of them. Yeah, found all three. So the three older Zinsco panels, those breakers are known to not trip off when they're supposed to, or they're arcing on the back. It's something that I'd have to recommend in the future. You replace those panels sooner than later. I did take all the dead fronts off. One of them is not wired correctly. The one here in the one next to the actual hot water heater and HVAC system. But I'll label those. There are a couple concerns. Also, when I was running I was coming in this kitchen here, I was running the microwave. I had all the lights on. And that when I was running this microwave, one of the breakers in the panel out there tripped, and I made a note of which one it was as well, and I'll also label that also. That's telling me that breaker's overloaded, and there's going to have to be an additional breaker added. That's another thing with one of the panels. Also, we have two lines on one breaker, double tapping as it's called in the industry. I have to recommend that be addressed as well.
Is there room on the panel?
No.
To add another breaker?
No.
Okay.
So that's where the issue lies, yes. Now, the water pressure seemed to be good, but again, at the same time, I could not find the meter. This is a standalone kind of fire pit barbecue grill out here. It does have a refrigerator in it, but there's no power going to it whatsoever. It's also not a propane barbecue. It is a charcoal.
And it's not staying.
Oh, there you go. So, problem solved. So there.
I should have told you that before. I apologize.
How about the spa? Is it staying?
The spa is staying.
Okay, so I did check it for safety reasons because it does have to have a ground fault circuit interrupter. It does have a dedicated circuit as it's supposed to. I did notice one of the headrests in there is deteriorated, but it seems like all the pumps work, the lights work, everything works on it. But other than that, it's starting to show signs of age.
It's only a year old.
They don't take long for them the headrest break down inside of them. Yeah,
that's
the headrest.
Amazing.
Well, they get the chlorine and everything else on them, and it tears them up a little bit. The inside of it looks good, but the headrests are starting to get deteriorated. One of them, at least. At least it's installed properly. A couple of the outlets on the outside of the house are not ground fault circuit interrupted. Very common. You have to add a different outlet to that. It's an easy fix. Coming inside the house, I noticed that the front door does not actually seal up very well, so that's something I would recommend. Also, I know you have solar on the house, but you may want to invest into getting dual pane windows, at least maybe in the back bedrooms over there, because that would help it stay cooler back there. Even some type of circulation fan where you could pump this through here would actually work as well. There's multiple ways to get the air conditioning to the back rooms. You could put in a mini split, as they're called. That would probably be the easiest way to go about it. But that is going to be expensive to get the electricity from this side of the house to that side of the house over there. So the roof was in good shape. I walked the tiles. There was no crack, broken, slipped, exposed felt paper anywhere, but the roof was in good shape, just so you know. Chimney's had some service work done to it, which is good. It's got a new crown on it. The cracks in the chimney walls have been sealed up. The only thing I noticed is it has a gas option, so it needs to have a clamp on the actual flue damper. So that's a pretty easy fix. As far as the garage goes, the opener is extremely old and doesn't have infrared sensors on it, so it could come down on a car if a car was in its way, which you should be aware of. There's open electrical box in the garage that needs to be sealed up. All outlets need to have ground fault circuit interruption. The garage is extremely full of items, so I did the best I could to inspect it, but I couldn't see much. Washer and dryer have laundry in them, so I couldn't run those. There's a hole in the drywall behind the washer and dryer that needs to be sealed up for firewall safety reasons. This garage door should self-close all the way. As of right now, it doesn't. It just goes ahead and it kind of gets, it doesn't latch. So that is that. Electric hot water heater's in good shape. Heat pump seems to be working very well. The only problem is that the return air compartment's very dirty. There's actually a black-like substance around the entire bottom of that HC unit from previous leaks or condensation that's been laying on it. So that needs to be further evaluated. There's a lot of electrical wire in the garage that needs to be inside conduit. What they use to basically power up their Tesla, because they have a Tesla, so they have a 60 amp plug out there, so the wires are exposed. It looks like they replumbed a couple of the slab pipes into the attic, so I didn't see any areas of concern up there. I can tell you that the insulation in this attic is original, 1970 something. I'm sure we're right about that time frame. Very limited amount of insulation. It'd be ideal to insulate that back wing as well. Obviously the microwave's got broken buttons on it. 2 of the 3 still work. It is a little sketchy, but you can do it. It is just you don't want to get shocked. Anyhow,
That's funny.
The cooktop was functional. Dishwasher's running through a full cycle. Something's wrong with the garbage disposal. It's vibrating aggressively. Either there's food stuck in it.
Sounds angry.
Yes, it sounds very angry. I think it needs to either be serviced or replaced, one of the two. These lights, like I said, went out. Microwave went off, tripped off. Oven's functional. Refrigerator was functional as well. No areas of concern. Faucet's leaking from the stem, needs to be replaced. I didn't find a carbon monoxide detector in that hallway back there. You have 2 smoke detectors, no carbon. The plungers on the drains for the sinks don't work. You can't. They're basically just frozen or corroded up, so they don't work. One of the windows still has the old slated glass in there, which doesn't seal very well as also. So you might want to replace that. It's the first guest bedroom here.
Okay.
Yeah. The other bedroom's not really a bedroom, doesn't have a closet.
Right.
I'm sure you noticed that. Toilet's loose in this bathroom here as well, this first guest bathroom. Very loose, it just rocks all over the place. If there's going to be grandkids here, there's the fountains out front and in the back. Those are not safe for kids. If they climb on them, it could fall and they're very heavy. Those are not typically glued together. They are just basically balanced.
Okay.
That's it.
All right. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.